Welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. Coming up on today's episode, finally, it's a here we go on Miguel. Elanga is still the Toon's top target. Eurostar has been linked with Nottingham Forest, and more centre-backs on the shopping list for Nuno. All this and plenty more coming up today on your latest Forest news. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. As always, stop a sec. Get that like button pressed. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new, as this is your daily updates on everything to do with Nottingham Forest. And I gotta give a shout out to our boys, Étienne DJ, as he super thanked us $10. You absolute legend. Thank you so much. And Jet Setter with the £2. What a top bloke you are. Loving your comments as well. Remember, if you want to be shouted out in the videos, hit that $sign, get those super thanks in. And let's get into the news, because finally Miguel is a red, and this one is dragged out. We told you over on Monday that we were expecting the announcement on Monday because he was in Nottingham. Forest delayed it till yesterday, and the world's worst kept secret was finally announced. So the details of the deal are about 3.5 million, 3.4, somewhere around that mark, on a 4-year deal. That surprised me a little. I expected it over a 5-year deal. But in terms of the amortization on that, it's still peanuts. Risk-free, the 6'8" giant, the big show himself, the choke slammer, is officially a red. However, I have some gripes with this. Firstly, what is he doing being revealed in a training kit? I know they've just revealed the training kits. I know it's all big hype on it and what have you. I ain't convinced about those collars or the fake collars on there for a start. That's a whole other debate. Just stinks of amateur hour again. And our reveal videos are so boring. They're always coming out through the tunnel. Then there's always a cutaway to the Trent end. And then that's basically it. Where's the creativity, Forest? Where's the creativity? There's this really cool one that I've been pushing on social media with a player, I don't even know who he is, signing for his club, jumping over the stadium and into the ground. Now that would have fitted perfectly for Miguel, seeing that he's the tallest man in the world. But no, Forest wanted to keep it boring. But back onto the kit reveal itself. In terms of coming out in training kit, it's not on. It's just like I'd expect it in the championship. And the question remains, where are the new kits for Forest? Now, the answer we know, shock horror, is it's a couple of days away. And there's going to be no big reveal like there was last year in terms of going up to the castle or anything like that. It's probably going to be a social media style push. So don't expect any bells and whistles this time. We saw a very similar thing with Olympiacos last season in line with Forest, but we are being told we are days away from it. Now, you'd expect that to be the case anyway, seeing that Forest are playing their first friendly this Saturday against the world-renowned Chesterfield. I'm joking. I know a lot of you are in Chesterfield. And I'm not going to go on a pre-season tour rant here, but come on, man. Let's get hyped up and excited over Chesterfield. So, back to Miguel. Signed, sealed, delivered. I loved his interview. His interview filled me with the kind of things I want to hear. I get the impression he's coming in expecting to be the number one choice. I love that he's critical about himself, that he said he's not looking for the positives in his performance. He's looking for where he can improve. And I feel that this is something that's been missing for generations now of footballers. Footballers, all they want to hear. Look at the England team. They start crying when they've been criticised. Look at the happy clappers in our own fan base. If you criticise a player, it's like, oh my God, what do you think you're doing? And this is missing from the footballers. They've got used to this environment. And I love that Miguel's come in and he's expecting to be his own harshest critic, which is a fantastic attribute to have. Now, with Sels away with Belgium, well, technically, because they got knocked out, he's back. But they do release them on holiday for a little bit. Anyone who's been in the Euros. That means Forest are probably only going to be left with Miguel because Matt Turner was out in the Copa America with the USA. Again, they were out, but he hasn't had his holiday. So that leaves Forest with Blackademus. Nope, he's gone to Newcastle. So technically the senior goalkeeper is Carlos Miguel. So I would like to hope that we see him this Saturday against Chesterfield. I mean, he would probably fill the whole stadium by himself, but we may see Youte. I think it's going to be interesting to see what Nuno fields this weekend. Is he going to go Cooper style, blooding the youth, playing people out of position and all this? Or is he going to, as I hope, try to knuckle down, try to formulate maybe the skeleton of the team, the spine of it, and try and play players in and around there? Yes, give some youth players some well-earned minutes and things like that. But let's see if we can have a proper pre-season for once. But I'm really happy about Miguel. The Corinthian fans are not at all. They're calling him all kind of Judas names and things like that. How are you guys feeling? Is he now Forest #1? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's move on to the second story, which is on Anthony Elanga, and this one's starting to gain a little momentum as Newcastle are showing more and more teeth when it comes to him. He is one of the highest priorities for them this transfer window. Once they have sold, what was his name? Miggy Almiron, or whatever he's called. He apparently is going to Saudi. We're expecting that to happen or should I say the Newcastle fans are expecting that to happen sometime after the Saudi transfer window opens, which is about the 17th of July. Once they've done that, there is talks that Newcastle will be wanting to spend big. They've had links to players like Jarrod Bowen from West Ham, but the price tag on him apparently is 100 million. They've had one or two other links as well that are going to be out of their reach. And it's coming to almost a crescendo that the player that ticks all their boxes and in terms of affordability could be and maybe Anthony Elanga. Now, when we're talking about prices on Anthony Elanga, Forest picked him up for 15 million last season from Manchester United, but his valuation has gone up. Irrespective of how I think he has basically zero football IQ, it doesn't matter because he's been stat packing a lot of things, especially in the early part of the season, getting a good bunch of goals and a good bunch of assists as well. So his valuation should really be about 30 million right now. But remember, Forest have done these backdoor deals. I don't know what you want to call them. The FFP merry-go-round deals, the PSR party deals with Newcastle. And Newcastle 100% owe Forest big. So I would expect if Newcastle came in for Elanga, you're looking at a fee of about 35 to 40 million. To me, that seems too high for him. He is still young. Let's not forget, he's just turned 22, I think. He's in probably the best shape of his life. He's getting close to being as chiseled as I am. And he still has the potential to maybe gain that football IQ. Now, I personally feel football IQ, you're either born with it or not. Yes, you can learn some of it, but it wouldn't be natural. Now, I'm not saying I want him out of Forest because I think he does a good job on the right wing. But if Newcastle were to come in with anything between 30 and 40 million for Elanga, I'm okay with that. I think Forest could find themselves another Brazilian kid, whip him in on the right wing, and then he'll be worth about 100 million next season. One thing Forest are definitely doing well this season is the recruitment. There can't be any memes currently about how Forest are going about their business, recruiting good, youthful players at good, acceptable prices. Okay, maybe Anderson's the exception to that rule, but the recruitment doesn't feel as scattergun as it has done the last two transfer windows. And even in those quote-unquote scattergun transfer windows, Forest unearthed a lot of gems. My question to you guys is, would you give up Elanga for over 30 million? If your answer is no, what is your price tag on him right now? Maybe some of you would go lower. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's move on to our third story, and this is the link that Forest have with one of the hits from the Euros, and that is Jaka Bijol. Yeah, apparently that's how you pronounce it. Jaka Bijol, as far as I would say it in English. But anyway, this kid is pretty damn good. Plays for Bologna currently, had 24 appearances there, coming from Moscow for a €4 million fee. However, Bologna will owe about a 10% sell-on fee on anything they get for him. Now, it is reported that his valuation is somewhere between 10 and 15 million euros. And he is about 6'2", so quite a big centre-back. And again, we've been telling you this is becoming the priority for Nuno, hence why we're seeing so many links to him. Now, Forest aren't alone in their admiration for him. There are quite a few clubs lining up, and shock horror, West Ham are not one of them. Yes, you heard me right. West Ham are not copying Forest on this one. But there are some interesting clubs. You got Inter, you got Wolfsburg in there, Stuttgart, and you had the likes of Napoli and Lazio, who did show a little bit of an interest earlier on in the season. So, with him doing so well in the Euros and his heart now set on leaving Bologna, Forest are looking to maybe potentially swoop in. Now, these are all currently rumours, but you know, it's about Forest, so we've got to bring you the news. And I would be interested in this guy. He did stand out for me in the Euros. Playing against England, I thought he had a good game there as well. And he could adapt quite well to the pace of the Premier League. And it wouldn't really cost us an arm and a leg. 10 million euros is what, about 8.6 million pounds? That's chump change for the Greek father. So I would 100% be up for this signing. But what do you guys think of him? And would you call him Jacob or Jakob? And he's got to be called Yo, not Bijol. Let me know your thoughts on him. Okay, so sticking with the defenders theme, there's another player who's been linked with Forest. And this is an interesting one because one, I don't know nothing about him. Hands up, I haven't seen this kid play, but he currently plays for Le Havre in France. And his name is Étienne Youte Kinkoue. Can we just be linked with a John Smith, man? Seriously, it'd make my life so much easier. But why is this one interesting? Because Le Havre bought him from Olympiacos B in the summer just gone. We don't know what the fee is, but it's believed to be somewhere in around 300k to £500,000. And his valuation has gone up based on his performances this season. He's played 24, I think, odd games for Le Havre, and his valuation has skyrocketed up to £7 million. So, even though I know F all about this guy, you would expect the hierarchy at Forest to know the deal with him because of his connections to Olympiacos B team nonetheless. Now, he's 22 years old. He's also a bit of a giant at 6'5". I'm sensing a little theme here that Nuno is so vexed at the amount of goals we conceded from corners and set plays last season that he is just going to solve it by buying ladders at the back. And you know what? It's not the worst idea. As long as they got a little pace about them and a little strength, yes, you'll probably give up a little bit of agility, but maybe we won't concede over 20 goals this season from freaking corners and set plays. So you can tell it's definitely annoyed Nuno. And I like the fact that they're addressing it in the basic fashion. Crosses come in. If you're taller than the other guy, the odds are you're probably going to get to it first. So there is some logic behind it. But honestly, I have never seen this guy play. I ain't even seen him on FIFA or Football Manager. So I'll leave you guys to tell me about him in the comments down below. But that theme is clearly there. That Forest, I think, will recruit more than one centre-back. Because as I said on the previous video the other day, we're down to 3 really first-team namers that we can pick from once Joe Worrell has left. So, let me know your thoughts on him, and let me know your thoughts on all the links there. And don't forget, we had a cracking interview with Steve Battlemuch yesterday talking about the latest developments on the City ground. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that yet, I'll leave it there for you on the end screen. And I'll be interested to hear your thoughts about the latest developments there. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.